So can you introduce yourselves and your company, please?
My name is Andrew Garrad, and I'm the non-executive chairman of GL Garrad Hassan.
My name is Ahilan. I'm the president of GL Garrad Hassan. GL Garrad Hassan is the world's biggest renewable energy consulting firm, acting in virtually every aspect of renewable energy.
We are part of the GL Group. There are three divisions of the GL Group. The age-old maritime business, for which GL is best known, is the oil and gas division, which is called GL Noble Denton, and we are the renewables division, GL Garrad Hassan. And we cover, as Hassan says, we cover pretty much everything in the renewables spectrum. So we have one cardinal rule, which is we don't have any share in any turbine, any device, or any wind farm or other development. Otherwise, we offer services right through the whole spectrum, from the beginning of policy and strategy, site finding, development, right through to design of turbines. And indeed, part of our division also includes GLRC, which is a certification business, certifying designs.
If you could pick a standout aspect of your consultancy services, what do you think it would be?
I think the key is independence and a high degree of competence developed through a whole 3 decades of history. In fact, from the beginnings of the renewable energy industry, I would say that's
the cornerstones of our business, I think, are independence and rigor. And that's if we start with those two, we can build up all the consultancy services, no matter what they are. It could be political advice, could be measurements, could be technical advice, but we must do it properly. We must be in the state of the art, and we must do it independently. That's why the no ownership rule is so very important.
So could you go into a little bit more detail about the parts of the renewable energy sector you work in, and geographically where you work as well?
Yeah, well, I'll start and maybe you can take over, Alan. So we work pretty much all over the world, and so our policy has been to have an active office staffed by engineers in any country where there is significant renewable energy activity. So that leads us now to, I think, about 25 countries. And in those countries, of course, we don't do everything. So some of the places we do just things that are local to that country. In other places, we have a pretty broad spectrum of activity, but all around the world. And then the new thing, which Ahan's arrival is going to really help us with, since he's got 28 years in the offshore business, is our offshore wind consultancy business. So maybe you could probably, there's general consensus that wind energy is something that is the most developed of the renewable energy technologies, that there is still some way to go in terms of offshore exploitation of wind energy. And that's, we think that is going to be quite a big growth area for us, and we have a lot of complementary strengths within the group through our maritime and oil and gas activities to bring to the industry essentially a pretty strong package of expertise for offshore developments. But wind is, whilst it's our major, probably 90% of our business, there is a good deal of growth in other renewable energy activities as well. So marine renewables is something that we think will develop. We also believe that the solar renewable energy technologies are also maturing, and there are areas in the world where we believe that will provide greater growth potential. In fact, just last week we launched something which we call Wavedyne, which is a dynamic simulation of wave energy devices. And we have a small group of about 20 people providing a comprehensive service on the marine renewables, wave and tidal. And this Wavedyne release is actually a very significant milestone in our ability to provide that consulting service. It's a very comprehensive mathematical model of a general wave energy device, and it's really leading the world. We're structured in 2 ways, I guess you could say.
our basic structure is regional. So we have several regions, pretty conventional stuff, and in those regions we are providing the services which are needed in the regions. We then have two other parts of the business which we call competence centers. One is the Turbine Engineering Competence Center, which is developing and designing devices, normally wind turbines, but also wave and tidal devices. And we have quite separately, with a separate legal structure and a separate existence of the certification business, which is the world's leading certification agency for wind turbines, for wind turbine projects, so typically offshore projects, but now also increasingly for the marine renewables as well.
So where do you see the company in 4 to 5 years then?
You better answer that.
No, I think as I say, our current portfolio is very heavily tilted towards the wind renewable energy, but I'm pretty sure that the developments in the future would push us further towards offshore and further towards marine renewables and further towards solar. So I expect in 4 to 5 years that we have a broader distribution of renewable energy portfolio. The second more important point is that we've been going through this phase of development of new technologies and installation of new projects. Now those projects need to be maintained, and in the operations aspects of that operations and maintenance aspect, we have quite strong capabilities to improve the economics of those fields. So one of the aspects that we are focusing on, and in fact Andrew is going to spearhead that development, is to get our operations management activities heavily brought into the marketplace. Because if you think about it, currently when people try to look at economics of renewable energy projects, the availability increase by a few percent can have a significant impact on deciding whether the project can go ahead or not.
We find people collecting huge amounts of data, so everybody collects data, and there's a sort of feeling if you've collected the data, okay, I've done my job. What we found is in that data, in that operational data, there is gold. And so if you look carefully at that operational data, you can improve the performance of the project. Thereby, you can improve the financial performance of the company. So even small changes, as Alan says, can actually represent very large amounts of money. And what we're trying to apply to the operational business is what we've already applied to the other business, the certification business, also to the design business, which is technical rigor, to really understanding the science. And that can be done with operational data, it can be done with predictive tools. So we are following with, I mentioned earlier on, with the wave analysis, very similar line to what we followed with the wind. So we do our very best on the science and on the mathematical modeling. We're doing that now on the wave and tidal, but we're also doing it on the solar. So we're developing our own independent tools, both for PV and for concentrated solar, which is the thermal equivalent. So our ethos is always to have the best tools which we develop ourselves and then we apply for the benefit of our clients. So it could be measured data, it could be predicted data, it could be satellite data, it could be measured wind data, it could be measured solar data, any data, any predictions. We want to do the best science we can, and that will deliver the best product for our clients.
And what do you need now to take the business forward?
What we need is good political support from various different governments around the world. We are in a very strong position. We have the GL group behind us, which is 7,000 people, privately owned, with plenty of money for investment in new services from us, new technology. So we are very well capitalized. We have 1,000 people. We are the world's biggest renewable energy consultant with 1,000 people spread around the world. Fantastic expertise. We then bring in the other parts of the GL group, the offshore oil and gas people and the maritime people. So we have a really very, very good professional coverage for all different types of engineering you can get. The industry as a whole is facing some uncertain times politically. So we are, as a company, in a very strong position. We, of course, require there to be an engineering demand for our services, which means there must be a demand for renewable energy electricity. So the main thing I want is political help. I think we are in a fantastic position to support any activity anywhere in the world, but we need the politicians to say, yes, we want renewables.
Yeah, and provided that is there, we actually have the reputation and the critical mass to actually set some of the technical agenda that is required to improve costs in renewable energy. So because of our ability to bridge across some of the traditional engineering areas such as shipping and oil and gas, and bring that technology and bring the learnings from there into renewable energy in a relatively seamless manner as opposed to other kind of new companies, I think we are able to set that agenda, and we would be able to bring all the stakeholders together and try to see how new philosophies can be brought in to improve our costs in projects.
I've mentioned quite a lot about our predictive capability, but we also have about 150 people specialized on making measurements. So making measurements on all devices, again, presently mostly wind turbines, but in Kaiser-Wilhelmshaven, our North German base on the North Sea, there's the world's leading experts on making measurements on these huge devices. I've long believed that the way we improve our technology is by making measurements, by making predictions, comparing the two. If the two are the same, that's great. If the two are different, then you think, okay, something's wrong with predictions, we better change the tools. So we have both predictive ability and a fantastic intellectual brain power behind that, and the measurement techniques to validate the predictions. So I think we are extremely well equipped, technically, intellectually, financially, and geographically. But our business, our industry is facing difficulties like everybody else with the economic downturn. But also we need to see firm political commitment to improving the green credentials of our electricity generation.
Andrew Hassan, thank you very much.